Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be recapping every fight from UFC Fight Night Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. Overall, this card was dog shit, but I'm going to recap every fight anyways because I don't really have anything else to do right now. I'm going to start off with the early prelims, end with the main event, and without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into the video. First fight we have Vanessa Demopoulos versus Talita Alenkar. Demopoulos should just stick to stripping. She does not understand what it means to fight in the cage. And if anything, shame on Talita Alenkar for being unable to finish the fight. A very shit performance where Alenkar's just camping in top half guard the entire time. And Demopoulos is just staying in guard as if she's gonna submit multiple time champion in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Uh, Ideally, I don't have. We should cut both of them from the sport, but bare minimum, Demopoulos should not be in the UFC anymore, and we're gonna move on. Moving on to Martin Buday versus Urad Satibaldiev. Um, Satibaldiev kind of filled in as a short notice replacement for Kennedy Nizichuku. I did not expect that until the when the announcement came, and I honestly thought Satibaldiev won. Like, yes, Boudet just looked to be fresher, which is kind of crazy to say considering Boudet is just a abnormally fat fucking heavyweight. But Santi Badiev cracked him with the better shots. Like round one, I thought Santi Badiev was about to put away Martin Boudet, and in round three, he badly wobbled Martin Boudet. That being said, I think though I guess the weight difference was too big for Sati Badiev because Boudet he just like raped over him with his fat ass stomach, and Sati Badiev couldn't complete a single leg for shit. Um, and even if you disagree with what I'm saying right now, why are we giving Martin Boudet like favorable decisions in 2025? Like he's a fat fucking heavyweight. We can find 20 of those guys off the street if we really wanted to. Like I don't understand why Boudet is given the win. Like you, even if you gave Boudet the win, like there's no incentive for the UFC to keep this guy that much longer. We know how dog shit he is. Just recap his fight with Andrei Arlovsky. I don't know. It just frustrates me because the times that we call, I guess like it's like a close decision. Sometimes the UFC they just give it to the guy that doesn't benefit the company overall or the fans. Moving on to Victor Henry versus Pedro Falcao. Falcao is fucking dog shit. Why did I think he was gonna win this fight against Victor Henry in my prediction video? Victor Henry, on the other hand, he looked pretty good out there. He actually tuned up Falcao very well, and he did a very good job defending the submissions, which I said he wasn't gonna do in my prediction video. Is Falcao gonna get cut from the UFC? I think he should. I think a lot of people on this card should be cut from the UFC. But if anything, Falcao should be the first name mentioned because half the time he was just kind of pulling guard, just waiting for Henry to engage. Meanwhile, Henry's just chewing up Falcao's leg for free. Uh, Again, Henry, he did a good job. I was just very disappointed in Pedro Falcao. I thought he could get the job done, but clearly he's not UFC level. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the next fight for now. Moving on to Loma Lookboon versus Estela Nunes. The only highlight of this fight was when the judges were reading out the scorecards, and Nunes was shocked because all three judges gave the fight to Lookboon. I don't know why this bitch was shocked, as if she did anything to win the fight in the first place. It was a dog shit fight. I expected more from Lookboon. And as for Estela Nunes, her path in life should be OnlyFans because it's clear that she can't fight. So yeah, we're gonna move on to the next fight. Up the card, we have Reese McKee versus Daniel Frunza. Reese McKee gets a UFC win in 2025, and it was by Doctor Stoppage TKO because McKee was beating the shit out of this jabroni. I'm genuinely surprised that Frunze even survived the onslaught because McKee dropped him like 5 times during the round. Like, I thought to myself by the third knockdown, McKee could put him away. But I guess Frunze, he's tough. Unfortunately, he's not good. And as for McKee, he did show a lot more improvements. Maybe it's because he's fighting much lower step in competition compared to like Hamza Chimaev and Chidi Njokuani. But yeah, Reese McKee gets a win in the UFC, and he looked pretty good out there, which I would not have expected at all tonight. Moving on to Diana Balbita versus Dion Barboza. Barboza just bullied Diana Balbita the entire time because Barboza actually has muscle definition and athletic capabilities. And Balbita is a woman. Balbita can't harm anybody even if she tried. Meanwhile, Barboza is in that coin flip territory of possibly being either man or female. Eventually, Barboza cinched up an arm triangle after taking her down for a easy first round submission victory. So yeah, great job from Diana Barboza, I guess. We move on to the main card: Torres Finney versus Robert Valentin. Where do I begin with this fight? Oh, I know. I tuned into a UFC fight for violence, only to watch this Geodude looking ass over here sniff Valentin's crotch for 15 minutes. Like for from the end of round one, it was abundantly clear that Valentin had no chance of getting back up to his feet, and Finney in this situation did absolutely nothing. And listen, Valentin should have learned how to scramble up back up to his feet. But we've already established that Valentin can't really do anything. And Finney was in control of the entire fight. But rather than trying to advance positions, let alone go for any sort of damage or finishes, Finney chose to bury his head into Valentin's armpits and just hold top position for 15 minutes. Like Finney did his absolute best to hold on to Valentin from top position instead of risking the small chance of Valentin scrambling out in exchange for a nasty ground and pound or possible submission attempts. Send Taurus Finney back to the Dana White Contender Series, or have him fight like Gerald Mearshart or like Brad Tavares, because I truly believe that our GOAT GM3, who I'll talk about later in this video, would submit Taurus Finney. And Brad Tavares will do him even worse. Either way, I don't want to see Taurus Finney fighting any layups anytime soon. And unfortunately, he's not as good as I thought he would be. Moving up the card, we have Ode Osborne versus Luis Gurule. This was actually a sick fight, and thank God we at least got a nasty KO win because holy fuck, I was gonna flip out if we got another Torres Finney case in this fight. First round, Osborne is just picking Gurule apart on the feet. Gurule got a sick takedown towards the end of the round, but he didn't have enough time to really do much with it. And then in the second round, Osborne badly drops Gurule with a counter left hand and then puts away Gurule shortly after. Great work from Ode Osborne. He gets to keep his job in the UFC, and I guess Ode Osborne is a lot better than I at least thought he would be. Moving on to Brad Tavares versus Gerald Mearshart. Unfortunately, Brad Tavares wins 29-28 against our GOAT GM3. GM3 unfortunately could not find his takedowns in time, and Brad Tavares' legendary brick wall takedown defense held through for the majority of the fight. On the feet, GM3 looked extremely goofy. He threw like double left crosses, slow spinning back fists, and Tavares was doing just enough to pick apart GM3 by distance management and basic boxing combinations. GM3 did get a takedown in the third, but he couldn't really establish anything further than that. Tavares did a good job to make sure that GM3 couldn't lay him flat down on the canvas to latch up the signature GM3 arm triangle. And Tavares won by 29-8 decision. Sucks for our GOAT GM3. Like I said earlier in the video, give him Taurus Finney because I want to see our GM3 bounce back with a win. We move on. Cortavius Romeus versus Chang Ho Lee. Holy shit, I believe that Chang Ho Lee can be established name within the bantamweight division. Start to finish, he just butchered Romeus. Lee came out guns blazing by just swinging big meaty hooks in order to find the space he needs for a takedown. And on the ground, Lee balled Romeus. Occasionally, Romeus would just reverse position, but then would try to rush for an armbar, giving up top position shortly after. And I believe it was in the second round where Lee began to work Romeus' ass, and the beating was so bad that the ref had to step in, justifiably so. Great work from Chang-Ho Lee. Even though I said he would win, just the way in which Lee got the victory was super impressive. We move on to Pat Sabatini versus Joe Anderson Brito. I thought Joe Anderson Brito was good enough to neutralize Sabatini's wrestling, but little did I know that Brito would just pull guillotines every time Sabatini shot for a double instead of actually trying to sprawl. Sabatini proceeded to maul Joe Anderson Brito for 3 straight rounds, and I believe the third round was a 10-8 round. This performance made me question how in the world Brito was able to beat Lopez up in the first place. Like, I know Lopez is way better now than when he fought Joe Anderson Brito, but it's like Brito did not make any substantial improvements during that time as well. Sabatini officially fraud checks Joe Anderson Brito, and we are unfortunately never getting the rematch between Diego Lopez and Joe Anderson Brito. Moving on to the main event, we have Josh Emmett versus Lerone Murphy. Outside of the first round, where I believe Emmett dropped Murphy, Lerone Murphy picked apart Josh Emmett off the back foot for 4 rounds. Josh Emmett couldn't really get much offense going, and every time I thought there was going to be a big moment during the fight, the moment ended with Emmett holding on to a shitty double leg against the cage. By round three, Emmett kind of just menacingly stared at Murphy, waiting for Murphy to overextend in order to hit a right hand. But unfortunately for Emmett, that moment never came. I know Murphy demanded for a title shot during his post-fight speech. Don't worry, bro. You ain't seeing a title shot for at least the next 3 years. Compared to Leroy Murphy, Movsar Evloev is like a Yuri Prohaska out there. Overall, a very dull performance to end the night. Murphy did what he needed to do, which was to use his footwork in order to frustrate Josh Emmett. But man, I wish we had an exciting fight to end the night off because of how dog shit this card was. And unfortunately, we never got that exciting fight to finish off the card. Alright, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys rated UFC Fight Night Josh Emmett versus Leroy Murphy. But other than that, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.